So I just started recording.
Okay, I don't know if mine's, it says, please ask the host to give you permission to record.
Okay, let me give you permission. You want to try again?
All right, perfect. Yeah, it's working, I think. I'm also recording myself on my iPad just in case. So
Okay.
just to make sure. Okay, do you want to go first or you want me to go to first?
Okay, so I'll ask you first, I guess. Yeah.
What was that?
So I'll start, I guess.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so the first question is like, did you see that the student was learning? Did you see if the student needed additional support? Was the student able to grasp the concept? What can you tell me about that?
I felt like you were very thorough. I liked how you started out the whole lesson with the who, the why, you know, the what, the where, you sort of like laid it all down. And then when you read the story, I felt like it was, you kept asking questions as the story was going on, which I felt was like a really, really smart way to, you know, just keep like measure. I felt like in my lesson, I felt like you were sort of measuring the knowledge as you were teaching it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was smart. And I really also love that you used the iPad at the end, just to sort of, and then you like helped her do the work and then you let her sort of, you know, do it on her own. I felt like it was very thorough and I thought it was really good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, the next one is, how effective was my instructional design, my setup, such as getting students to learn the concept in this lesson?
I thought it was really smart, setting up the whole thing, like the house next to, you know, the setting, you know, just having like little tools so that like the person next to the you know, the people, like just having the tools of, I don't know, I just felt like you made it very accessible for her, and for her to like actually grasp all the concepts. And you sort of checked in as you know, what was going on. And I just thought that yeah, it was the way that you did it was smart. And then writing down all the words and then the pictures. Yeah, I thought it was really smart the way you did it.
Thank you. And how do you think I should plan this lesson based on student learning characteristics, like maybe the differentiating strategies, or if I had like a LD student or ELL student, or
Yes, yeah,
like if I had a student that didn't really know what was going on, like what would you change or how can I modify it?
right. It's sort of challenging just because we're not teaching, you know, like to an actual classroom. So it's sort of weird, but it's like, I thought like the second, like having the iPad or like having the read aloud, or if somebody, you know, speaks Spanish or speaks a different language and they're not sort of grasping the concept, maybe just like you'd probably have to just slow it down, you know, and just sort of give a little bit more like individual attention to like the students that aren't grasping, you know, it, you know, so I think just, yeah, giving extra help and also just slowing it down would probably be beneficial for, you know, students who are having a little bit harder of a time.
Okay, thank you. I'm like, how would I do that? So much going on. Let me see, and there's a last one, right? How should I modify new or extend new levels of presentation? How to present the lesson to give students a chance to express what they're learning, to engage with the content as well. So how can I extend those levels to engage them more?
I thought that you did a really good job. I liked how you sort of were slow throughout the whole book. You read the page and then you asked questions. So it was like fresh on their minds. You know, it wasn't like you were just going through it and you're like, oh, like, let me get these key details as it went. And I thought that was like a really smart way to do it. Just slowing it down and checking in and engaging with them, you know, like throughout the whole story.
Okay, and do you have any additional feedback?
No, I thought it was great. I liked the use of the visual. I like that you used the iPad at the end and you really, you were very engaging with your student and, you know, just checking in with her, asking her questions. And I thought that was like really smart.
Thank you. Well, then that's it for me. Thanks. I appreciate your feedback. I was really nervous about it because it went on for like an hour or so. And I'm like, I
Right.
can't believe it went that long.
Right.
But thank you for your advice and feedback.
Yeah. What age group are you wanting to teach?
Second grade. Do
Second.
you think it was age appropriate?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, so I want to teach kindergarten. As I mentioned, I don't really have any classroom experience. So I was sort of, and I didn't have anybody to read to, but yeah, so what do you think of my lesson?
Well, I think it's very challenging because you didn't have students, but you're a very good actress. I really enjoyed it. So I'm doing a long-term sub assignment right now for a
Okay.
kindergarten class.
Okay.
And looking at your lesson taught me that just being simple, plain, and clean is the best way to go. And I
Right.
really liked how you did it. I
Okay.
mean, you gave students opportunities to answer back. You went over vocabulary. What else? You had them doing something, like worrying and all that. And
Right.
and it was very clean. It wasn't like all crazy.
Right.
So I really enjoyed that part. I enjoyed the whole thing. It was good.
Okay, cool. Because yeah, as I said, I don't have like classroom experience right now. So I like yours was much more like measurable. I felt, like I felt like I was just sort of like, oh, what happened here? I just sort of, I needed, I don't know, to sort of clean it up a little bit more, have sort of like a more of an agenda, I guess, or, like with the lesson, did you feel like it was just sort of like a little bit all over the place, or did you think it was like good for that age?
I think for that age was good because their
Okay.
attention kind of like it. I mean, maybe we had a little bit more questions because at one point you just read,
Right.
but sometimes they, having too much questions just it gets crazy and
Right.
they don't listen. They're like they have a lot of energy.
Right. Totally.
I tried it too with this class that I'm teaching right now. Like it has to just be clean and just, look at the pictures. Like they're more visual. Like
Right.
it was good when you say, what's happening here?
Right.
And they like doing that.
Okay.
It's more visual. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was the one thing I really liked about your lesson was how you just sort of like every page, it was sort of like you interacted with, your student and were asking questions. And that was something when I observed yours, I was like, oh, that's smart as opposed to just, keep reading.
Yeah. Because they get like distracted or whatever.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Get them back on board. Cool. Should I read out all the questions or do you think that's?
However you feel. I mean, like some are like repetitive.
Yeah. I feel like it's sort of,
like maybe we could go over let me see. Like if you have to differentiate or
different, like our scout.
That one, I think maybe what I've seen in classes, because I do a lot of special education subbing, is that they read the story and they have visuals for them. Like if you're gonna go over a vocabulary word, they have it on like a flashcard. They pull it out and it has like a little like a visual representation about it. They'll pull it out all the time and the kids kind of like, it gets their attention and then they have a visual of the vocabulary word.
The vocabulary word, yeah.
And then maybe like small, like groups, maybe for those students that are like falling behind, have like groups and have like visuals and objects they could touch, like a monster or I don't know.
Right. Yeah, like a little bit. I did want to do that. I am in my home. I don't have kids. So I had like that dry erase board. So I was trying to work with what I had, but I observing other lessons, I definitely would want to have more like, visuals and stuff just to like.
Yeah, like a song too. Like I'm doing a lot of songs. They love songs. They like to sing, clap, and move around and all that. So maybe have a little bit more of that.
Right.
And then for maybe like a Spanish speaking or another language, like you say, like maybe have an aide that could like maybe help them with that.
Right.
Just go over the story in their language, or if you don't have anyone, just at least have the vocabulary words, like find them on Google Translate or something and present them that way.
Okay.
And also going a little slower for those kiddos that don't understand, or like rephrase. I do a lot of that because I don't understand. Sometimes the story, goes on and they're like lost, and I rephrase.
Right. Oh, that's actually really smart. Yeah, just sort of say it in a different way, just so that they actually grasp it. That's smart. Yeah.
And that's it, I think.
Cool. Well,
I
thank
love
you for working with me.
it. Thank you too. I was like panicking. I'm like, who is gonna do it with me? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have
All
a good
right.
day.
You too. Bye-bye.